Hi, and welcome to the NVR, Non-Violent Resistance series of small webcasts. My name is Claire O'Donovan. I'm a family engagement worker and an NVR accredited practitioner. Southampton City Council have asked me to put together this series of short videos to help families who are struggling with challenging behaviours from their children. So hi, in this section we're going to talk about prioritising behaviours and making announcements to the children. Prioritising behaviours is crucial from an NVR point of view. If you try and take on all the negative and challenging behaviours that you're facing right now all at once, you will burn yourself out and become white noise. Constantly just feel like you're moaning and moaning and moaning. Announcements are the first time probably that you will make your child aware that from now on things are changing and that you want to take a different approach and this is how you're going to do it. It will become clearer as we go through. So firstly, prioritising behaviour. With the NVR, we ask you to think about a three-basket approach. Low priority behaviour in a large basket. What can you ignore for now? Those things that irritate you but aren't necessarily something that you have to battle straight away. It could be things like not putting their shoes in the cupboard when they come home from school. It could be things like not putting their plate in the kitchen when they finish their dinner. Yeah? Only you will know what are things that irritate you, but you don't necessarily have to battle with right now. Yeah? The next basket along is the medium priority. You will get to this eventually, but before you get to these behaviours, it could be things like, I don't know, some examples, swearing, attitude, I don't know, all sorts of things. But these are the medium priority situations that you will eventually get to, but don't necessarily have to be dealt with right now. Your top priority baskets, small baskets, from an NVR point of view, what we would like you to do is identify maybe one or two priority behaviours to go in here. And those are the ones that you are going to tackle with the NVR approach. High risk, tackle now behaviours. Evaluating risk and looking at the risk of behaviours, risk to self, risk to others, that's crucial. It might be that you've got a child that struggles to go to school. They struggle to go to school, but in the time that they're not going to school, they're going out with their friends, getting into antisocial behaviour and smoking weed. The antisocial behaviour and the smoking and the cannabis is maybe the priorities that you decide, behaviours that you decide to tackle first, and then you work with getting them back into school next. Only you will know what your priority behaviours are. And as a family, as a parent, it's up to you to decide what you think is most important. Risky behaviours often end up in top priority. But again, like I say, only you as parents will be able to decide what you think is your critical priority. When I do this in groups, we ask people to write on post-it notes and put in their little, put on a flip chart which behaviours they would put where. The fascinating thing about it is that everybody's priorities are different. Some people might put swearing as a low priority, and some people might see it as something that they really want to tackle right now. There is no right or wrong to this. What we're asking you to do is just think about prioritising the challenges that you're facing, because taking on all of this all at once not only will burn you out emotionally and probably psychologically and potentially physically, but also the white noise becomes something that just goes round in young people's heads and children's heads, and they don't hear you anymore. They don't hear you keep on nagging. An example of that some people find helpful is if ever you've watched Snoopy, Charlie Brown, you might recognise the teacher. She never really says anything. She just man. And eventually, when we just keep on and on and on and just getting on and on and on at our children, that's what they hear. That's what they hear. And the only people that get frustrated about that is us. So please, pick your battles. Some battles have to be fought. Others can wait for now. Once you've decided on your priority behaviours, what you really need to tackle, then is the time when you start to think, okay, this is when I'm going to actually tell my child that from now on, I'm going to be different, I'm going to approach their behaviour differently, and this is what I'm going to do with it. And these are the people that I'm going to reach out to. So this is where you tell them who you've identified as your supporters. An announcement is written from a place of love. It's not something that is about control or demand. It's not, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. It's not that. In a minute, I'm going to read you some examples of some announcements that have previously been made up in groups. But for now, I need you to remember that this is almost a relational gesture. This is a time when you reach out to your child and say, I know that things have been difficult. I know that between me and you, things are not working out right now. I want to try and make that better. This is how I'm going to do that, and these are the people that are going to help me. And I'm doing this because I believe in a better future for us. It's not negotiable. You don't need your child to acknowledge it or respond to it or thank you for it or agree. The chances are you're probably going to do this. You're probably going to say from now on, these are the things that I'm not going to accept. These are the people I'm going to tell about it. And your child is likely to go, I don't think so. You're doing it anyway. They don't need to be in agreement with this. It establishes a parental presence. It says, this is my decision. This is what I need to do. And I'm doing this because I love and care about you and I want a better future for us. It's clear and it's specific. It identifies the behaviours, the priority top basket behaviours. And it includes hopes for the whole family. It's really easy for a child who's got challenging behaviours to feel ostracised, whether it be siblings or family or friends or whatever, to remind them that the reason that you're doing this and you're making these changes is because you want the whole family to benefit from it, including them, is crucial. So making an announcement. Prioritise one or two of the behaviours to address first, your top basket behaviours, small basket behaviours. Say something positive about the child. Start with something that says, you're amazing at football, you're great at Minecraft, you're funny, you're talented, you're chatty. Find something positive about who they are. Start with that. Then talk about who you'll be looking for support. Tell them who you're going to reach out to. From now on, if they run away, then you're going to contact Miss whoever from school, maybe Auntie Jackie and Doris down the road, because they are the people that care and they will help and want to listen. Hopes for the future as a family, like I've already said. And then again, finish with something positive about that child and about the future that you see and why. If you can do something positive at the beginning and something positive at the end, the middle bit has less, what's the word I'm looking for? Has less hurt in it. It's less aggressive because you're complementing it with something positive either side. Yeah? When you're delivering an announcement, be as creative as possible. And although it's called an announcement, it isn't verbally said. It isn't verbally shared. Yeah, it's something that it's age appropriate. You can leave it somewhere for your child to find. I've known parents who've left notes on their left letters, little written out letters on the pillows for their children to find when they come home from school. I had one mum who wrote a small announcement, put it in a picture frame, and left it by the side of her son's bed. Never did he mention it. But it still sat there, and he did read it. But he didn't ever say anything to his mum about it. I've known parents who have handwritten things, laminated them and stuck them to the fridge. Again, sometimes they never even get mentioned. They do get read, but sometimes they don't get talked about. Other times, I've known people who've written things, or I've known one family whose daughter was cognitively not able to understand or to read. So they designed a bedtime story about a princess who turned into an ogre at bedtime. And she could relate that to herself because it was third person. So when they finished reading the story, what she said to them was, that's me, isn't it? But they couldn't have told her that. They couldn't have pointed that out to her because she was never going to get it. I had one mum whose child was very little, and she designed a picture book of the people that, their family and the supporters that she was going to contact, the behaviour that she was going to challenge, and then pictures of family holidays and smiley faces and that kind of thing to show that that's why she was doing it. Very pictorial. You can be creative with it. I've known parents who've made YouTube videos and then emailed it to their children as teenagers because they can't get them offline. People who've made like CD things that can be played in the Xbox, and they've just left them in the Xbox without the child knowing about it. So the next time the child turns on the Xbox, it kind of pops up. Not quite sure how that works, not that technology minded. But just get creative. These are relational gestures, and these are reaching out to your child. It doesn't have to be acknowledged or agreed with. This is not you saying, I want you to stop. This is a message that says, I'm not going to accept this behaviour anymore, and this is what I'm going to do about it. Okay, so before we come to the end, I'd like to read out some examples of some previous announcements that have been shared with me, and I share in my groups, to give you an idea of where we go. Here's one. As you know, things have been hard at home for a while, and things need to change so that we can have our happy home back again. I can't have you breaking things, swearing and hurting people anymore. I know deep down that you know this isn't acceptable. Together with the help of your school and the people on the course, plus the people who love us, we will get through it. As a family, we love and care for each other. I'm very proud of how hard you work to be a good boy, but sometimes we all need help. I have been learning ways to make things better. You may or may not have noticed, but you will. We can learn and grow together. The reason that I like this one is because it talks about you may or may not have noticed. Many families, before they make announcements, find that actually just doing some of the other strategies within the MVR make a massive difference. If you've seen any of these other kind of webcasts, then you may have come across relational gestures, de-escalation techniques, those kind of things. If you have, and getting supporters to help you, if you have and those have made a difference, then great. Your child may not have even noticed, but you hopefully will have. Another one that I can share with you, let's do this one. Okay. Things are going to change. I will not sit back and allow you to swear at me anymore. I can't cope with your behaviour, and I don't have to. You are such a talented young lady and musician, and I love that you get such joy out of this. To see you flourish and take such pleasure out of performing makes me very proud. You are a beautiful girl, and I want to help you to be happier at home. I have asked your teachers, friends, and Auntie to help me help you, and they are on board. Things are going to change for the better from today. I want the best for you, and this is why I'm doing this. I think you can do it, and you have the power to, this for us and for you. I love you with all my heart, and I'm always here for you no matter what. Mum. One more. To my boy. You are so amazing at your game, but at 8 p.m. it must come down to charge up. I will plug it in, and it will always be charged for the next day. The reason that I shared that is because this was an announcement which was an age-appropriate announcement for a very small little boy who found it very difficult to come off of his game at bedtime. The parent got creative, made a frame where the charger cable goes, and that was the message, and that was the behaviour that they wanted to tackle. These announcements don't have to be wordy. They don't have to be complicated. They just have to come from the heart, and they just have to be specific. I hope that's helpful. And have fun with that. Please remember, get as creative as you like.